Hey there, everybody, and welcome to my news of the day. Today, it's mostly for the NHL, mostly surrounding the upcoming training camps, qualifying round, and playoffs. And I guess we'll get right into it, and we won't wait. So this is something being reported. Salary cap expected to stay flat at $81.5 million for possibly the next 2 seasons. So there was a lot of speculation, especially the last, you go back a couple of months, there's been a lot of speculation about what will happen with the salary cap. Will it go up, which it won't. I can't see that happening at all. Will it stay flat or will it drop? And there was even speculation by as much as 40%. So it's pretty much decided on. The NHL and the NHLPA are working that out right now, that it's going to stay flat for the next 2 seasons, and then once the hopefully new contract for the TV deal in the U.S. is signed and they know what they've got, then they will either raise or see where they go from there. So that's being reported, like I said, by a few people. One of them is Larry Brooks, and we'll get to something else from him later. A Boston Bruins player has tested positive for the COVID-19. He tested positive in the testing that was done before Phase 2 started. It was asymptomatic, so he didn't have any asymptomatic. He had no symptoms and has since tested 2 times negatively, but he's right now in self-isolation, and they will check him again, I guess, over the next 14 days, and so that's happening. So it just goes to show that some of the players will have it, and they may not even show it. Don't forget, they're athletes. They're in really good shape. They may get it and just be totally asymptomatic and not actually get sick from it, and this apparently is the case with this Boston Bruins player. Next up, from Pierre LeBrun, these next 3 things. Phase 3 start date could change if negotiations drag on. So he's saying that for Phase 3, which is training camps opening up, they are announcing that it's going to be July 10th. But that's because that's the date the NHL wants. They're still in negotiations with the NHLPA on all the final details about that. So that LeBrun is saying that's definitely not written in stone. That could change if negotiations drag on. The good thing about that is it seems like the NHL and the NHLPA are getting along quite well, and hopefully so they won't drag on any negotiations. Phase 4 target date. Yeah, the Phase 4 target dates pretty much come out August 1st, somewhere around August 1st. Now, I've been saying, or we've heard, mid-August or around the 10th, or so. I said mid-August myself, but it's looked like it's going to be around there and maybe go as late as mid-August, but it looks like August. If they're able to start playing games, it should be somewhere from the beginning of August to the middle of August. Next up, turn around the wrong way. Also from Pierre LeBrun, NHL and NHLPA discussing a 4 to 5 year extension of the current CBA, which is something I talked about. Apparently this is not just rumor now. They are actually discussing this actively. There may be some changes to the CBA, which is something else I did say. They wouldn't just extend it without making some changes, especially to escrow, and there's something else I wanted to mention, and it's not coming up, but especially escrow. So these changes that they will make, if they do agree to an extension, will probably take place immediately, and there is word, I think I put it in there, the last news of the day, that there might not be any games played till there's an agreement for an extension. So any of those changes would take place like right away, whatever they would be. So this is reported by Larry Brooks, where he does talk about the cap could stay flat or drop as much as $10 million. It seems like it is going to stay flat. I don't think it's going to go down. They're trying to work that out, how they'd be able to keep it flat, and I think that will work that out. So in the negotiations for the CBA extension, escrow and salary cap are the key issues. Escrow is a big issue. I think it was 14% the players had to put away in escrow. They don't know whether they'll get it back or not. And it looks like next season going forward, that rate's going to go up higher. So they're negotiating, I guess, how high, how they'll be able to pay it, if they have to pay it all in the one season, or they can put payments out there over the years. It's kind of complicated, but that's the key issues: salary cap and escrow. I guess I'll change the subject a little bit. So with the two hubs that they're supposed to be, they're looking at having 3 games being played from each hub. In the first 2 rounds, you're going to have 8 series in the qualifying round, and there's going to be 8 series in the opening round, the first round of the playoffs. So they're looking at 3 games a day each hub, and that includes overtime. And you know that overtime in playoff, and when they're in the qualifying round, especially, well, I guess both rounds, there are going to be regular overtime rules where it can go 1, 2, 3, 4 periods. So even if there's a double, triple, quadruple overtime, which could happen, and because you're kind of don't want it to happen, it will happen, because that's how things work. They're still going to get the 3 games in, so it could be some really long days for hockey. But that's how they're going to do it. There's 8 rounds, 8 series in each round. So the first 2 qualifying round 1 will have these 3 games a day. Once they move into round 2, that'll probably drop to 4 games a day, 2 in each hub, something like that, and moving forward. Canadian government may decide to loosen quarantine restrictions for the NHL. So this is a big story, because if there's going to be a Canadian hub, I think the Canadian government's going to have to loosen the restrictions for the NHL players and not having to quarantine for the 14 days. But they could come up with creative ways to do the quarantining, and that's in this way. They're talking about expanding the quarantine area, so that would include the players and their families' home and the arena. So they would only be allowed to be around their home or at the arena. They would not be allowed to go shopping, drinking, partying, anything like that. So anybody's saying, well, that's kind of not fair. No, they would have to be at home or at the arena. So a bubble of those 2 areas, and that would allow them to avoid or to do the 14-day self-isolation or quarantine, however you want to put it, in this way. And it'll allow them to practice. So they would be able to get here even later than the June 26th, because they'd have to be here by June 26th to be able to do this 14-day thing and be able to make it for the opening of training camps, if they happen on August 10th. The other way would be also including, like, at the hub, so players, now I was talking training camps for players home and at the arena. At hub cities, it would be the whole hotel, so they would take over a hotel, maybe more than one hotel, everything to do with the NHL, hotel, where they would eat, and the arena they'll play in, that would be part of the bubble, and they would only be able to travel in those areas. So they would not be able to go anywhere they wanted, just in certain places. And so the Canadian government may loosen that. We'll find out apparently June 22nd. And that kind of leads into the next one, is everybody's reporting that Vegas is not just the front runner, but they're going to be officially named as one of the hub cities. And what they're waiting to announce for the other one is whether the government's going to relax their restrictions on the quarantining, and that's because it seems like Toronto, surprise, Toronto is the front runner in Canada to be one of the hub cities. Also Edmonton and Vancouver, but now they're really reporting heavily on Toronto. So they're waiting to see what the Canadian government's going to do. It looks like it's going to be Vegas, and they're going to announce this on June 22nd. And that's when the official announcement's going to come out. So that's it. That's my news of the day. I couldn't find anything really specifically on the Canadiens, but this does. It has to do with them because they're part of the tournament. So, so there you go. That's my video. If you like it, give a thumbs up. While you're on the way down there, do that. And even if you don't want to give a thumbs up, but you want to make a comment section's down there. You can comment on any of these stories here. comment on my opinions on them, and let me know what you think about it. So that's down in the comment section. And while you're down there, if you haven't subscribed, you can hit the subscribe button and ring that notifications bell. That's going to get you your daily fix of Blue Blanc Rouge right here talking Habs. So hopefully you'll do that, and we'll see you on the subscriber side. I mean, you can watch either way. Either way. Okay, I'm just battling here because it's going to be a long day, and I'm trying to get ready for it. So there you go. Please, everybody, thanks for watching, and please stay safe from the virus by wearing masks when you're in public, because everything's opening up now. People are going everywhere. Stores, shopping centers are opening up, even here in Montreal next week. So very important to wear a mask when you go out and do stuff like that. Keep washing your hands all the time. And yeah, stay safe. Keep watching my videos, hopefully. Thank you for doing that. And I will try to remember what I'm supposed to say here. See you next video. Peace out. And yeah, have a great day, I guess. See you next video, everybody.